we're going to be talking about some journals and some swatching journals and all sorts of things done by Patty Duffy. She is a fantastic woman that offered these journals to us and swatch charts to us in one of our color alongs. And she sent them out to us, and I have tried them out, and I'm going to let you know what I think of them. So let's get started. Of course, all of Patty Duffy's books can be found on Amazon just by typing in her name, Patty Duffy. She does have a website that she is working on. It's not up fully right now, so I won't advertise that for you. I will put it in the comments below, as well as all the links to these fantastic books that we're going to go through. So to start out, she has these wonderful little password journals, and they're really cute, where you can put your passwords for each of your websites that you have, the security questions, and any notes that you want to make on why you have that information. These are wonderful for when you're not at home and you're not at your own computer and you want to, say, log into a computer at the library or at the internet cafe or anywhere like that where your passwords aren't saved and you don't want your password saved. I would definitely suggest, because these will fit in your purse or your backpack or anything like that, if you do take them out in public with you, which is what they're made for, that you make sure they're secure. Always make sure they're secure, because somebody can lift them out of your pocketbook and have all your passwords. But fantastic little books. They're both really cute. The covers are wonderful. One's a little more masculine than the other, but both of them are really nice little books. I don't go out a lot, so I will not be using those as much as some other people. Another one is this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous cover to this book is Give Thanks, 100 Days of Gratitude. I'll move that down for you so you can see the whole book. Basically, it is 100 days of what you're thankful for. So every day you fill out a page of the things that you're thankful for the day. It doesn't have to fill the page. It just has to, it's a reminder to yourself every day of things in your life that you can enjoy. It has these really adorable, well drawn little ivies all the way around the page. You can of course color those, because yeah, that's what we do. I would color them all. The paper is a good thickness to the paper. It's not really thin. And it's one of those things that if you journal, is fantastic, especially if you're going through a hard time. It gives you a reminder every day of a few things that you're thankful for that day. And of course, after the 100 days, you can read through it and learn and know that every day you had something to look forward to. The next one is just a journal. It's a straight journal. It's just lined paper. So you can keep everything in it. You can write anything that you want in it. You can write a book with it. The cover is beautiful. The artwork on here is absolutely wonderful. And of course, there's a grayscale version of it there. So if you decide to color it, you can do that as well. Now this one is one that I'm really excited about. This is a grayscale swatch book. As you know, with grayscale, it's really difficult to know what colors you're using and how they're going to look on the different types of grayscale, because there are several different types of grayscale. There is a line art with a shadowing, which is a very light grayscale. Then there's a really dark grayscale where they've colored the whole picture and grayscaled it, and it's really dark. This swatch book, and I'll show you on mine because I have my own that I've already colored in. I've already done a swatching of colors in this book. And I did my Artezas. It has these cute little pictures at the front where this book belongs to. So you can color up these cute little birds as well. But it goes through the different levels of grayscale. And I'm going to switch over to the close-up camera. Let's see if I can do this. And I'll point it at the picture. So for example, with Jasmine here, it goes from light into a gray. So that's a really light grayscale there. And it circles around to a darker grayscale and then a medium grayscale. And the center is your base color. So you can see how that color changes as you get into the grayscale. So if you're doing a dark grayscale and you just want a gentle show of yellow on that, that would be the one you would choose. If you want a darker show of yellow on that grayscale, I would suggest going with a darker color, like the sunflower yellow. It will show more of a yellow on that dark grayscale. So this book is wonderful for that. As a grayscale colorist, I have always found halfway through or just after I start coloring something that I've chosen the wrong color because I don't know what it's going to look like on that dark grayscale. And sometimes it just looks washed out. Each of these pages has enough swatches to do an entire 120 set. You know, it took me 2.5 pages to do a 120 set in the grayscale book. So of course on this last bit, if you have a 120 set, you can do color combinations, you can try out different things. So or you can start your next set. It's up to you. In the back of this book, halfway through this book, she also includes color combinations. So if you're doing skin tones, you can go through and you can put down all your skin tones for, say, Arteza, Prismacolor, Faber-Castell, and so on. And you can keep those handy for when you want to do a skin tone, but you're not quite sure what that skin tone is going to look like on that grayscale. So you can do a light skin tone and a dark skin tone. And of course you can play with your colors. If you find when you do your skin tones and it's down here in the dark and that doesn't look dark enough or you don't see enough of the color there, you can of course change that and use a different color. But this book is wonderful. I have looked everywhere for a grayscale swatch book. I'm going to switch it back over. And I have not yet found one. When Patty told me that she had created one and that she was sending us one, that was very exciting to me. Another thing about this grayscale book is, as you see on the front page here, there is a wonderful picture of a little girl and her dog. And that is Patty's granddaughter. And in the back of the book, just for practice, she included the light grayscale picture of her granddaughter and her dog. It's her dog's name is Chocolate, so you can color that up and see how the charts help you with coloring that. Like I said, it is a really light grayscale. It is not a dark grayscale. What I mean by dark grayscale, for example, in Fairies by Christine Caron, a lot of her grayscales in this book are a little bit darker, like in the hairlines and that sort of thing. So you'd have to choose from the dark part of that grayscale circle. So say we were doing the bluebirds, a bluebird, you know, in that darker coloring area, for the blue to show up as a blue, let's go back here. So this one here, say we want to make that a bluebird, and you're going to color this dark area here a really dark blue. Well, the really dark blue, like ultramarine, for example, looks almost black. So I would suggest doing either an indigo or an Egyptian blue, one of the brighter blues, because it'll show as a darker blue on that darker grayscale. And so forth. You know, the lighter grayscale, you move up the circle a little bit to where the lighter grayscale is and say, okay, that purple is perfect for her eyes, or this flower would look really good in sapphire yellow because it's got just a touch of grayscale. So do the sapphire yellow and medium blue color, like sky blue, and so forth. So there's different ways of doing grayscale. Like I said, a lot of people's books have some really dark grayscale. Christine Caron does many different levels of grayscale in her books, which is fantastic. She has light to dark, and that's wonderful. Of course, all of them have this really pretty little doodad at the top that you can color as well. Make it your own. Do what you want with it. But I have never seen any books. I researched before doing the video here, and this is the only one I was able to find on Amazon. So if you're a grayscale colorist, I would strongly suggest this book. If you're a straight colorist, just doing regular coloring, she has another book out. It's just a straight swatch book for colorists and other artists, and it's really cute. She has these lovely flowers down the middle. I did my Holbeins in there because I rearranged them, so I needed to re-swatch them anyway. The only thing I don't like about this book is it does take a lot of pages to do an entire set. The Holbein set is even more extensive because it is a 150 pencil set. However, if you were to do your Prismas in here, your Holbeins, those kinds of sets that have more than 150, 160 pencils, you're going to go through 6 or 7 pages. They are one-sided, but the paper is very nice. It's a good texture for colored pencils. And she incorporates these little flowers down the center, and on the back she shows you what she does with the colored pencils. You know, she does a gradual coloring on the shells. She does different colors on the flowers to show how different colors work together. Of course, you can do that, or you can, you know, take the colors in between, like for example, 3 of these colors and 3 of these colors, and mix them together and see how it looks on the page. Or you can just color them up and make them pretty. Any way that you want. Of course, it's always up to you. Do what you enjoy. As a colorist with pencils, I have not done anything in these with markers, so I cannot attest to anything on markers. That is one thing that Donna will be doing. She was also sent a set of these books, and she will be going through the swatch books with her markers and showing you how to use those in the swatch books and how well they work for those. As a pencil colorist, I would definitely suggest these books. This one here, I would buy all day long. The swatch book for grayscale is fantastic. It shows so many different levels of grayscale that it will cover any grayscale coloring that you do. This book here the one thing that I love about this book is it goes right to the end. There is no mixing, or like in the grayscale book, it gives you the ability to show different mixes. In this book, you can do that on the flowers in between or on the seashells around the edges, but those pages go right through to the end. Of course, it's got a few different different pages back here that are blank so that you can do with what you will. And, of course, do scratches and whatnot. Basically, it's just scratch paper so that you can test different blends together. But you can do that on the flowers as well. Once you find a blend that you want to do, you can, of course, color a flower in that blend and name it. Or you can do the blend on the flower, put the colors here, directing to that flower, and say, okay, these are the colors I used in that blend. But those pages go all the way through to the end. They don't leave any pages that may be wasted. I have a couple of different swatch books that I really enjoyed the swatching part of it. Unfortunately, there's 3/4 of the book with other things in it that I don't use, and they are a waste of, they're wasting away in my cupboard. So I like this book because it does go through 100% swatch sheets. It's not anything that's going to go to waste. The only thing I don't like about this book is it takes a lot of pages to do an entire set. I don't dislike anything about this book. This book is fantastic. There is so much versatility and so much use for this book. I cannot say enough about it. Of course, like I said, any of these books, any of the swatch books, the journals, or the password books that Patty puts out can be found on Amazon. All you need to do is look up Patty Duffy, or you can, of course, click on the links below. On Saturday, just so you know, on Saturday, we always do our color along at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in the morning. And we will be giving away some of these wonderful books on our color along on Saturday.